Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how to make one of these 3D beaded avocados that I designed. I'm going to show you how to do it using size 8 seed beads because they're bigger and easier to see, but if you want to make one like this then you'll need two different colours of size 11 seed beads and some brown size 15 seed beads for the stone. But today I'm going to be using size 8 beads, so I'm going to be using size 8 beads in a light green, size 8 in a darker green, and then size 11 in brown for the stone. You will also need Fireline, I'm using £6, and your beading needle. Let's get started. So start by threading your needle, and you're going to pick up 10 of your light green beads. So pick up 10 and slide those down. And you're going to want to leave 6 or 7 inches to tie back in for your tail thread. Now you're going to sew through all those beads again. So I'm going to hold it like this. And sew through them all. And then you'll have to sew through one more bead to bring it together. So now you have this. Now we're going to be creating a group of 4 beads from each of these 10 original beads. So we've already got 1, so we need to pick up 3 more. So pick up 3 and go into the one you're coming out of on the opposite side, and also through the next bead in the circle. Pull that down, and now you've got your first group of 4. Now we're on the second bead. You've already got 2 beads here, so you just need to pick up 2 this time. And this time you're going to go through that one on the side and the one that you're coming out of. Now you're going to sew through the next bead in the circle. So there's your second group of 4. So again we've already got 1, 2, so we need to pick up 2 more. So pick up 2, and you're coming out of this one, you're going to go down through the one on the side and the one you're coming out of. And there's your third group of 4. Now pass through the next bead in the circle. So again we need to pick up 1, 2, and this is going to be 3, 4. So pick up 2, go through this one on the side and the one that your thread is coming out of, and then at the same time you can also pass through the next green one in the circle. There we have it. So again pick up 2. Coming out of here, you're going to go down through this one, and through the next one in the circle. So through the one on the side, the one that you're coming out of, and the one after that. So there we go, we're about halfway around the circle, so keep going all the way around. So now, as you can see, we're back around where we started. So this bead here in the circle is the only one that hasn't got a group of 4 attached to it. So we've got 1, 2, 3 beads. So you need to go up through this one on the side. And all we need to do is add that bead on the top to make the 4. So pick up one bead, you're coming out of this one here, you're going to go down through the one on the side and through the one on the bottom, like that. And you should have this, it's kind of like a snowflake. So what we're going to do now is move up through one of these on the side. And I'm going to come down through this bead on the top because I like to work clockwise. If you're more comfortable working anti-clockwise, you'll go through this one. But I'm going to go through this one here. We have this. What we've got to do now is sew through all these beads on the outside. Sorry, sew through all these beads on the outside, so all 10, so these ones on the top. If you've ever done cubic right angle weave, it's exactly the same technique, but you've got 10 beads to work with instead of 4. There we go, so I've gone all the way around and then I'm going to pull it tight and it makes this, and it makes like quite a nice little beaded bead. So this is what we have. Now what we're going to do is pretend that these 10 beads that we've got here on the top are the ones that we started with. We're going to do exactly the same to these 10 beads. So we're going to add a group of 4 to each of them. So we'll start by picking up 3 beads because we've only got this single bead here, and we're going to go through the one you're coming out of and through the next one in the circle. So there we have our first group of 4. So like last time, this time you only need to pick up 2 beads because you've already got 1, 2. You're going to go down through that one on the side, through the one that you're coming out of, and through the next one in the circle. Now you've got this. So I'll show you again. Pick up 2. Coming out of this bead here, you're going to go down through that one on the side, through the one that you're coming out of, and through the next one in the circle. Okay, so you've got this. I'll show you again one more time. Pick up 2. Coming out of this one, down through this one on the side, through the one you're coming out of, and through the next one in the circle. There we go, so keep doing that all the way around again. So here I am just going through that last one. So I need to add the final bead. I don't know if you can see that. Try and hold it like this. So I need to add the bead on the top. So I'm coming out of the one on the bottom. I go up through that one on the side. Pick up 1 and go down through this one on the other side, through the one on the bottom as well. Okay, and then pull it tight. So now we're going to go up through this one on the side. So we've got this, and through one of these on the top. And again, you're going to circle through these 10 beads on the top. Okay, and then pull it tight, and that brings it all together. Now you've got this. This time you're going to pick up 3 of your beads, and you're coming out of this one here. We're going to be treating these beads in groups of 2. We're going to be using them in groups of 2. So this is a 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So you're coming out of this one, you're going to go back into the one behind it, and through the one you're coming out of, if you see what I mean. So your thread's coming out of here, you're going to loop round to this one behind the one you're coming out of and go through the two as if they were one bead. And you have this. Now you need to pass through the next two beads in the circle, and again these two are going to be treated as if they are one bead. So this time pick up 2. So you're coming out of these two, you're going to go down through this one on the side from that previous group and through those two in the bottom that you are coming out of. And then again you're going to pass through the next two in the circle. Pick up 2 more. So you're coming out of these two here. You're going to go down through the one on the side of that group you just added and through the two on the bottom that your thread is coming out of. And again you're going to go through the next two on the bottom row. Pick up 2, coming out of these two on the bottom, go down through that one on the side and through the two that you've come in out of. And here we're at the end, so we're going to go through those two on the bottom, up through the one on the side, pick up 1, and you're coming out of here, you're going to go down through that one on the side opposite and through the two on the bottom. So now we've got this, so now you're exiting out of a bead here in the bottom row, you're going to go up through one on the side and then through one of these on the top. Now you'll have 5 beads on the top and you're going to sew through all 5 of those beads to bring them together. So we've just decreased it from 10 to 5. Pull it really tight and now you've got this. Okay, so that's actually the bottom of the avocado, so now what we're going to do is move our thread back up to the top. So just do that by just moving up through the beads, going in the direction that they were added so that you don't distort your shape until you're exiting out of one of these on the top. Okay, so you're exiting out of one of these on the top, and now we're going to do exactly the same thing we just did. We're going to decrease down to 5 beads on the row. So you're going to pick up 3, and so we're treating these 2 beads, the one you're coming out of and the one behind it, as if they were one. So pick up 3 and go through those 2 beads and then pass through the next 2 in the circle. So then, just like the same as before, pick up 2, you're going to go down through the one on the side and through the 2 that you're coming out of on the bottom, and then through the next 2 on the bottom row. And you're going to do that same as we just did all the way around, pick up 2 each time. Okay, so I'm just about to add the last bead just like we did before. So go up through that one on the side, pick up 1 and down through the one on the other side, through the 2 on the bottom. And then I'm going to move my thread up so that I'm on the top and sew through those 5 beads that are on the top now to join them together. Now you've got this. Okay, so now we're going to carry on like we were at the beginning adding a group of 4 to each of these 5 beads, but we're going to be just doing 5 this time, obviously, instead of 10. So pick up 3 of your beads. Coming out of this one, you're going to go through the one you're coming out of and through the next one in the circle. This time picking up 2 beads, coming out of this one on the bottom, you go down through the one on the side, through the one that you're coming out of, and through the next one in the circle. And again, pick up 2 beads, go down through the one on the side, and through the one that you're coming out of, and the next one in the circle. Keep doing that, picking up 2, go through the one on the side and the one you're coming out of, and through the next one. So now we're at the last bead again, and if you ever lose track of where you are, or you're not sure if you're on the last one because they get quite close together, just count how many beads you've got on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you know that you need 5. So this will be the last one. So go up through that one on the side, pick up your bead, come down through this one, through the one on the bottom, and then back up so that you're at the top. And again, sew through all 5 beads that are on the top to bring them together. So now we've got this. So what I'm going to do now is pick up 2 beads. Coming out of this one here, you want to skip 2, go through the 3rd, which is sort of opposite. So like that. So those beads just sit on the top, and then you're going to sew through 2 beads, and then you're going to go through them again just to reinforce it. This time when you come out the side, instead of going through that one at the back, you're going to go through the 2 at the front, and then back up through those 2 on the top again, down through any of the beads below, and it's just anchored those 2 beads on the top. So now we've got this. This is what it looks like. Okay, so what we're going to do next is flatten it. So I'm going to flatten it down with my fingers like this. See how this is what it was before, and I've just flattened it like this to make our avocado shape. And then so that it stays like that, our needle's coming out up here somewhere at the top. You're going to go down until you're sort of somewhere in the middle of that top piece, and then push your needle straight through so it comes out the other side. Pull that tight, and then turn your piece over so you can see where you are, and go through a bead on this side. Pull that really tight. That will keep it flat so it doesn't bounce back. But we also need to do that down at the bottom as well, so I'm going to move through a few beads, moving downwards. Doesn't matter which bead you go through at all. So I'm here now, so I'm going to take my needle, push it straight through till it comes out the other side, give it a tug. I'm going to turn my piece over so I can see where I am, and then I'm going to go through a bead next to where the thread is popping out of, pull that tight, and then I think I'll just do one more, so I'm just going to move down another bead, push my needle through, and then go through bead on this side. Now it's flat, and it will stay flat, which is what we need. Okay, next thing that you want to do is take your tail thread and tie a couple of knots and cut your tail thread off, because it will probably get in the way if we leave it attached. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to tie it off, and then we'll carry on. Okay, So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the stone now. So your thread's probably somewhere completely random. What you need to do is find one of these groups of 4 that's close to central, where you want your stone to be. You might have to wiggle your piece around to make it sit more central. So I'm going to pick this group of 4 here. So I'm going to make sure my thread is coming out of one of those beads in that group of 4 that I want. Now we're going to need our size 11 beads, and you're going to pick up 1. So I'm coming out of this bottom bead in my group of 4, I'm going to go into the one on the side, and then I'm going to pick up another and go into the top bead in my group of 4 that I've chosen. Pick up another, and I'm going to go through the side bead in my group of 4, like that. And one more, I'm going to go back through the bottom bead where I started, which is this one. Okay, so now we've got this. Now you're going to step up into that first brown bead that you added. Now we're going to pick up 2 brown beads and go into the next brown one, and then pick up 2 and go into the next brown bead, and pick up 2 again. Coming out of this one, you're going to go into the next brown bead, and pick up 2 and go into the next brown bead, which is the last one. And then you're going to step up through those 2 that we added in that row. Pull it tight. Now we've got this. This time pick up 1 brown bead, you're going to skip that one underneath and go through the next 2 that we added. Oops. That. Same again. Pick up 1, skip that one underneath, go through the next 2 which are on the top row. Same again, pick up 1 and go through the next 2 beads. And here's the last one, so I'm going to pick up 1 bead, skip that one underneath, go through the next 2. Pull it tight, and now you're going to step up into that single bead on the corner. This time pick up 1. Sorry. This time pick up 1. You're coming out of this bead on the corner, skip the 2, go through the next single bead. Same again. Pick up 1, you're coming out of this one, skip those 2 underneath and go through the single bead which is on the corner. And again, pick up 1, go through the next single bead. And finally, pick up 1, skip the 2 underneath, go through that bead that we started with, right there. And then you can step up into the first bead that we added in that row. Now we have this. Now what you're going to do is sew through those last 4 beads that you just added. Now you've got this, and this is your stone. Now you've got a naked avocado. Okay, so you're on the top of your stone. Just move your thread down and down through the 2. Doesn't matter which beads you go down through until you're back exiting out of one of your green beads at the bottom. Okay, and then you want to move your thread so that you are exiting out of one of these beads that's sort of right on the edge of your shape on the front side. Okay, now you're going to turn your piece on your side, hold it like this, and we're going to be adding beads all around the outline. What was that? So now we're working with our dark green beads. So coming out of here, it doesn't matter if you're coming out of exactly the same bead. Pick up one, and you want the bead to sit here, right where your thread's coming out of. So what you're going to do is go under that bead there and that thread. See that thread there? You're going to go under that, pull that down, and then sew up through that bead and pull it down, and it's going to sit there. Pick up another. Now you're coming out the top of this one, you want it to sit right next to it, so you're going to go under a thread or a bead right where you want it to sit. So I'm going to go under that thread there, pull it through, and sew up through the bead, pull it down, and it's going to sit there. Show you again. Pick up a bead, you want it to sit right here, so you're going to go right under that thread there or under the bead, whatever it is for you. Pull it down and sew up through the bead you just added. Okay, so that it sits here. So keep going. Pick up a bead, we want it to sit right here, so we're going to go under the next thread there. See how my needle's gone under that thread? Pull it down and go up through that one we just added. So it sits like this, and you are going to go all the way around doing that. So you just find where you want the bead to sit, find a thread or a bead that you can sew under that will anchor it in place. Oops. So that's what I'm doing. All the way around. So if you need to go back and watch again how to do it, then keep going back and having a look. And it's tricky to begin with, but as long as you keep your beads going in a straight line along the side, you know, you don't want to be right out here or right back here. As long as you keep going under a thread right where you want your bead to sit, then you should be good. So go all the way around, and then I'll show you what to do next. So as you can see, I've gone all the way around, so this is what it looks like now. And just when you've added your last bead, you just want to go through that one next to it, the first one that we added, and back up through the one you just added, just so that they're all connected. And now I'm going to add a new piece of thread. As you can see, I'm about to run out, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so I've just added a new piece of thread, and I'm exiting out of one of these side beads where I was before. So you want to be close to the bottom or the top when you start this next part, so if you're not, just do what I'm doing here and move down and through these beads on the side until you get where you want to be. So I'm going to start right here at the bottom, and what we're doing is we're just adding straight rows of the dark colour across to begin with. So I'm going to pick up a few. There's really no way to know how many you need till you come to do it, so that's going to be perfect. So 3, and then I'm coming out the top of this one. I'm going to go into the one opposite that's near enough opposite through the top like that. Okay, so your beads are going to sit there. Now you're coming out the bottom of this one, you're going to go up through the next one. So you're coming out the top of the next one. And you're going to do the same again, but you'll need more beads this time, most likely. So I'm actually going to need 5, I think, for that one. So I've got 5 beads, and then I'm going to go across just to check. Yep, and I'm going to go down through the bead opposite, so that they just lay across like that. Now we're going to go up through the next bead and pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to begin with, but we're going to need a couple more than that. So it's really just a case of measuring it across like this, depending on your bead size, and these are quite uneven beads that I'm using here, so that makes it vary each time. So I'm using 7 this time, and I'm going to go across and down into the bead opposite. Okay, and if it pulls across and you've got a big gap, or it's too many and it's sort of gaping like this, then you can just undo it and add a bead or take a bead out. And then up through the next one. Okay, this time I'm going to pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to be too many. 7 again, and I'm going to go down through the one opposite. So you're going to keep doing this, going backwards and forwards, right until you get to the top, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so I've gone all the way up, and I just ended up finishing with just 2 beads at the top, so this is what it looks like. And you can leave it like this, but what I've done on my other one is just to make it feel more secure, and so that these don't move around and come out of place, I've added a row of stitches down the middle. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. It is optional, but it does make it feel more sturdy. So you're going to be at the top, and you need to do is move your thread so that you're coming out of the last beads that you added. In my case it's 2. You want to be coming out of the centre 2 beads that you added last, and then you're going to go down into the next row through the 2 beads that sit right below, and back up into the first 2 that we came out of. Pull it tight each time, so they're joined together. Now you're going to go back through those 2 below and into the row below that. So I'm coming out of this one, so the 2 that sit right below, I'm going to go through those, back up into the 2 I came out of, and back down into those 2. Now in the row below, again, you're going to find the 2 that line up right below the 2 you're coming out of. You're going to go through them, circle back up to the 2 you came out of, and back down to the 2 you just went through. So basically you're going to do that. You're going to do that all the way down. that just adds an extra row of security really. So I'm going to do that and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I've done that all the way to the bottom, and this is what it looks like now. And so that's it basically. So now you just need to tie a few knots and cut off your thread, and that's the avocado finished. Okay, so that's the finished avocado. So this is what it looks like. And this is again with size 8 beads for the avocado and size 11 for the stone. And if you wanted to do a smaller one like this, you need size 11 for the avocado and size 15 for the stone. So this is what they look like. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. And subscribe if you'd like to see more of my videos. And comment down below what else you'd like to see. And like this video if you enjoyed it. And you can follow me on Instagram at Beading by Hannah and tag me over there if you do make anything from any of my videos. I'd love to see it. So again, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye!